Hello, Aminal fans. Welcome to this new podcast that we're trying out. I'm Design Viking, and we're bringing you this new show called The Sitdown. Today, we're joined by Chili Pengi,
hmm
Hidden Doggo,
Sup?
and a Spicy Habanero.
Hi.
So, just throwing out a topic there for you guys to start off. Cyberpunk took a massive hit the other day, losing 70% of its base audience. Let's go ahead and talk about it.
Good. Good.
I'll jump right into it. Since I've the only one here besides Design Viking who's played the game, I've got the most hours. I've got 64 hours right now. I'm looking at my Steam library,
Damn.
and yeah, the game's been out for a month and it's story based, and none of the DLC has come out. So people have probably already beaten kind of the main quest. So I'm not surprised to see that the game's just taken a steep decline. For people who aren't gonna be completionists like I'm trying to be, or are interested in doing multiple playthroughs, they probably put enough hours in and have finished their first playthrough and probably just waiting for.
Do you think
probably waiting for a DLC.
do you think that's why, or do you think it's because the bugs and all the bad press from the endless amount of memes about it?
So I guess I'm probably gonna go on a rant here. So it's threefold, right? There's a poll out there that came out that people asked are you still playing the game? Have you not? So people who it's 11% of people who stop playing the game aren't gonna play the game anymore. There are some people who are still playing it. There are some people who are done playing it, but they're just they're waiting to for new stuff to come out, for the DLC that's gonna be a free DLC that comes out this year. Yeah, I think a lot of people did step away from the game because it's buggy, it's crashed a lot, and it just was a bad release. There's no hiding it, it was just a bad release. But as the game, it's kind of going to be like No Man's Sky, I feel
where the DLC or the updates kind of make the game a lot better.
Yeah, so if you come back to the game after a while of not playing it, you're like, wow, this feels nothing like how it was at the start. Because underneath all the bugs and the shitty release and just kind of the memes, because that's what they are. They're just memes. They're just what's that word?
They're out in the ether.
They're it's an over an exaggeration, right? You're just
hyperbole.
It's a hyperbole, right? Because it's just no one's gonna post clips of just nothing happening, right? People are just gonna post the clips of the fucking game just folding onto itself and breaking. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody cares when it works. Everyone cares about when it breaks.
But
what do you think,
Billy? I actually do have a question. You say you're going to be one of those completionists. What actually do you like about the game that maybe other people are overlooking, through the bugs?
I feel for the most part, compared to other quest-filled RPGs, Skyrim or whatever, I care a lot about the side quests and what goes on. Some of the side quests, honestly, if they were more fleshed out, could probably be a standalone game for another AAA company.
You feel it's that good?
I feel some of the side quests are that good. It's
which
just
ones? If you had to pick 1 or 2 out.
If I had to pick one,
really pop out.
The side quests that for me that pop out, obviously any of the ones that involve your love interests, the possible love interests you can have in the game, those fleshed out could be the one with Judy or Pan Am. Those are really good. She's kind of Pan Am, she's excommunicated from her gang or whatever, so she's trying to get it back into their good graces, and you kind of help her get back in her good graces and just join, kind of become part of them almost. And she kind of offers you this choice to run away with her, and at that point you're you get to the dialogue options. You're fuck, okay, I don't care that I haven't beaten the game, just fucking roll the credits. I'm done here. I'm satisfied.
Wow.
And the same thing with Judy too. You feel this kind of interpersonal level with them, and they're video game characters. I'm looking at my character's phone waiting for fucking Judy or Pan Am to text me because I want to talk to them, because I want to see what else is gonna be in store, And
wow, so you feel they definitely make the game?
Yeah, they definitely make the game. Those 2 games could be their own game. Those could have been the DLCs. I feel if they added some more content in there, it could have been its own thing.
Speaking of DLC or and that sort of nature of the beast, how do you guys feel about the the new MK11 DLC that's being dropped soon. The new fighters.
Just to confirm what's being dropped in that DLC.
In the MK11 DLC, I think it's I forgot the fighter pack name. I'm gonna have to sit down and take a look at that. Hold on.
So if you're referring to the Rain Melina DLC, that was actually dropped a while ago.
No, there's supposed to be a new DLC coming out soon.
Well, yeah, we know there's a new one coming out. They just haven't revealed anything about it yet.
Oh, you're right. The Rain and the Rambo and Melina did already come out.
Yeah, that was already dropped.
But what do you think the new one's gonna be?
The new one? I'm leaning more towards based off of Ed Boon's hint. I would say, and I'm calling this now, you're gonna hear it here on the Aminal House first, guys. I'm calling right now Deathstroke for sure.
Deathstroke?
I foresee Deathstroke in the game. Well, I just feel like he kind of meets the whole aspect of Mortal Kombat, and also, right now the whole thing with MK11 is that they're all about guest characters, and I mean, to tie into that, we also have a new freaking what's this movie series called coming in the game too? God.
What, like DC?
Yeah, take a sit down. I'm gonna have to take a seat.
Nah, I don't have to take a seat.
I do agree though with Chili
game, but I would truly want to see Deathstroke, within the Mortal Kombat universe. It's just his persona, like his true, like just the way he carries it. It just fits like someone who would be in Mortal Kombat.
You mean also NetherRealm Studios has already kind of worked on that character because I believe he was in the first Injustice game?
Yeah. That you can add that as well, so they already have it there, so they can just move those.
I mean, he was cancer in that game, though. I don't want to see that shit.
From a gameplay standpoint, yes, but like,
absolutely.
In terms of stuff that's coming next, like I could totally see like Deathstroke coming in.
But MK11 is so janky. I feel like he would just be even more busted in this janky combo chainless world where once you finish your combos, it's like your character has a seizure and is unable to run, do anything, move. I liked MKX a lot better.
So, what characters would each of you want to see besides Deathstroke for Chili? What characters would you want to see in MK11? That would be interesting.
Honestly, this might be one that we don't agree on. I'm going back to a Batman character though, but I would actually want to see some kind of mid-range penguin.
Okay, that's just funny.
Like, what have they done over the years? They've done, not just including this Mortal Kombat, but like years past. So they've done
1 and Injustice 2.
Well, I'm not talking about Injustice. I'm talking about Mortal Kombat.
Talking about Mortal Kombat.
So they've done Jason. They've done Alien. They've done Predator, I think that was pretty good. I think it's kind of hard to top that, honestly. They've got what do they got just this year alone? They have, or just this MK alone? They've got Rambo, RoboCop. What are they gonna do? Fucking Judge Dredd next to get more.
More Sylvester Stallone cameos in.
That's probably, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if like that's the next one. Is honestly just like
Judge Dredd.
Judge Dredd.
Let me sit down real quick and let me see actually what we have here. Hold on.
I was actually gonna say that my preferred character for MK11 would probably be Dutch from Predator 1. Just because I want to see Arnold Schwarzenegger fight Sylvester Stallone in a game. Yeah. Or maybe Jean-Claude Van Damme from Bloodsport. What's that guy's name? What's his name in the movie?
I'll get back to you. No idea.
We'll get back to, but I would definitely love to see Jean-Claude Van Damme versus Sylvester Stallone or something like that.
I do love though when Mortal Kombat brings this like 80s, 90s feel from like their old game, and they just like they inject like the pop culture from back then into like the new game, like Terminator, Rambo, the fucking Alien movie, the Predator movies. Like I want to see that, like RoboCop. Like it kind of fits into the world of like Mortal Kombat, especially Mortal Kombat 11, which is all about like jumping between the past and the future and all that stuff. So it'd be pretty cool. I would, Go for it.
The results
I
are
can
back
actually
in.
get
His
off
name
my
is
seat
Frank
now.
Ducks, by the way.
Put
I can
Frank
get off
Ducks
my
out
seat
there
now.
and make him whoop some Sylvester Stallone / Arnie
But
ass.
supposedly, during my sit down, ironically, actually, there was actually a current rumor stating that Combat Pack 3, which is the Combat Pack which should be releasing for this current season, is supposedly, take this with a grain of salt, everybody, going to be containing Smoke, Havoc, Serena, and Deathstroke.
Smoke would be cool.
I just want to see Smoke in human form again. I hated Triborg.
Yeah.
Triborg is weird.
I just like Smoke from MK9. He looked badass as shit. He had like the long, like white hair that
Flowing
looked like
hair.
smoke.
Yeah, he really looked like someone whose name would be Smoke.
He looked like a bad man. He's about to whoop some ass. How do you Hey Chili, have you heard anything about the Sinnoh remakes?
Currently?
Yeah.
So as of right now, regarding the Sinnoh remakes, right now in the state of Pokemon, in the stage of Pokemon, better yet said, we're in a state of cold, dry, absolutely nothing has been said. We're in dead silence. I will open it up by like this as well. We are currently in reveal season.
And you know what I have to say about that? Game Freak can go fuck itself on that one. They always stay quiet and they never listen to the community. They never have anything to say. They just kind of like let it go. And then when the new game comes out, we get like some big news like Dexit, like what, a couple of days before the game launched? A couple weeks? Jelly?
I mean, that was a bit much. I felt like I was cut off there.
Yeah.
Anyways, besides what Dogo said, so as I was saying, we're in reveal season. So at this point in time, at any second, any day, we can be shown something. I actually prefer it this way. I don't like being told like, "Hey, yeah, this day we're getting this direct." Reason being, I like surprises. I feel like we get a random announcement saying, "Oh, there's a direct next week." Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! No way, it's coming! It's happening! It's happening! Gives us all that hype. So that's currently what we're waiting on. As of right now, we do not have much confirming that Sinnoh remakes are coming out this year. But what we do have is, in-game hints themselves. Also, Jonichi's Masuda Twitter, he's always tweeting things about like that look related to Sinnoh. Example, he tweeted the other day, actually, maybe earlier this week. It was a picture of him sitting in looked like a country bar looking thing. Um, and there was a picture of a Psyduck, and there was also some Miltank. Right off the bat, if you've played Diamond, Pearl, or Platinum, that immediately reminds you of the route where you have the 17 little annoying Psyducks, the 5, I don't know how many it was, but they're there blocking the route to get to the city where Cynthia was born. I forgot the name of it. So, and then the Miltanks with that regarding that also have to do with the little diner that's next to that Psyduck page. Pod Psyducks. So that's currently what we have. On top of that, Hop. It was either Hop or Hal. It was Hop. Hop or Hal, one of them had in the most recent games do have a little Krogunk statue sitting in the house, which is very reminiscent of a Krogunk you will see in the Great March. So I'm leaning more towards us getting Sinnoh remakes this year. I don't think we are due for Gen 9 yet. I think Game Freak should take their time with those and maybe release that around 2024. That way they have a solid amount of time to build it up. And
But they're not going to do that.
Anyways, so try to, make up for...
But they aren't. They aren't going to do that. Game Freak is all about the Madden of... They are the Madden of Pocket Monster games or games about like monster catching. They're going to drop something every 1.5 years. That's
already not true, actually, because last year we did not receive a whole new game.
Yeah, we received a whole new game like what, 2 years later, where we got half the roster because according to them we couldn't get the whole roster in one go.
I actually was open for the Dexit.
I hated it.
I think it was actually needed. It gave some Pokemon actual chance to be used competitively. Because if we would have had the same Pokédex we had before, we would have had the same meta. I actually appreciate them releasing 400 at a time, so that way
But
we
they
can
made us pay
experiment
DLC
different things,
for it.
as
That's the
any other
problem.
company would.
But no, not
No,
if
no,
not if not if that's supposed to be
who?
base game. I definitely don't think they should be doing that. They didn't do it last game. They didn't do it in what was it? Sun and Moon. They didn't give us no
Yeah.
exit garbage.
Actually, they have done it before.
Oh really? And what game?
Gen 5,
Gen 5 to what? Gen 6?
Gen 5, we had no way. Okay, so Gen 5, we also had Dexter. This is why Gen 8 is most relatable to Gen 5, by the way. And Gen 5 is my favorite generation. Just put that out there. Generation 5 had a huge backlash because a lot of people were angry that their favorite Pokemons were added into the game. But with that being said, it opened
They
up new
fixed it
meta that we
in.
didn't have before.
Didn't they fix that in
the game after,
BW2? Yeah, Black and White
which was a
2.
whole new game.
Correct, but people didn't like Black and White because of that.
That's what I just said.
But that's
Anyways.
what I'm saying. Like nobody likes that. Why are you doing that? That's a really garbage practice. Also, I could have believed that back on the DS when we barely had space for games, but it's the Switch.
Well, yes, I agree. With the Switch, we should have probably had, a much better game. I'm not praising Sword and Shield as my favorite ever Pokemon game. I put a lot of time into it, yes, because I play Pokemon competitively. But I don't think, all the backlash that it received was warranted.
But like here's my problem, I feel at least. I don't know if Habanero agrees with this, but I think that companies are getting away with this too much, or gaming companies in general are really trying kind of like this sneaky marketing tactic of like selling us DLC that's not really supposed to be DLC
Well,
and
that's
making us
not
pay
the
for it.
that's at the end of the day, when they see other companies doing it and banking off it as a business tactic, they're gonna try to do it.
I mean, but like, shouldn't we as the consumer kind of like avoid that? Like, what do you think,
I
Habanero?
I mean, so right, the point of DLCs is I saw it as a way of like keeping games at $60, right? So you keep a game at $60, so then you got the game and then fucking so to avoid the game prices going up, and then you just sell DLCs later, so that games aren't fucking $100 or $120. But that's just not true. Like look at this new gen of stuff. Like these new gen games are $70 for like the PS5 and the Xbox. Like
Yeah.
so, it's like no longer a practice to keep games at $60. It's just money grabbing. It's all
I
it is.
agree.
It's just money grabbing, and we're just gonna save ourselves the brain power having to come up with a complete game and complete DLCs. We're just gonna come up with half a game and then sell you 2 half games as DLCs. Like
Yeah, because that's the new business model of company. Sorry.
Now,
I don't
Game
remember the
Freak
last time I
doesn't.
saw a $60 game. I really don't.
Well, the last time I saw one was probably on the PS4. But what I was gonna say was that I don't think Game Freak's the worst at doing this. I just think that was a very egregious example of them doing it, where it's like, oh, here's half the roster because like the game
Well, I
couldn't
mean, we
handle it
got
the
it.
first time is what they told us, and then they're like, oh, but here's the rest of the game. There
Well,
you go.
that's because I
Here's
honestly,
20 give me
I'm a
$20
firm
though.
believer.
Thank you.
I mean,
Mhm.
the DLC was worth it. I mean, did you
Yes,
play
I
it?
do believe that the Tundra was good, but my issue is like, why not just have that as an update, like the extra Pokemon?
Because if you're
Post
trying to make
game.
a game survive, you're not going to release everything on the first year.
It's fine if it came out with the DLC, but I'm saying like it should have been an update, not part of the DLC. It could have come out in the same time frame as the DLC, but have it be an update instead of like, oh, you have to
But
pay for it.
but this is where you're actually wrong. The Pokemon themselves, you don't need to have the DLC to get it.
Well, yeah, but you need the DLC to be able to catch them yourselves. If not, you'll have
That
to
is
trade with
also not
somebody.
true. That is also not true.
Okay, so you're able to catch all of the Pokemon.
You're able to catch all the Pokemon from the DLCs. That's why you have the wonderful little Y-Link where you can join people on raids.
No. I'm not talking about Y-Links. I'm talking about walking through the grass and finding Pokemon.
I'll actually have if you would have played the DLCs, actually, you would have known that not all the Pokemon that can be found inside the Crown Tundra, the Isle of Armor, sorry, can be found in the grass. They're actually raid-specific ones.
All right, changing topics a little bit. Changing topics a little bit to cool stuff down. Well, throwing it right back into the frying pan here. Season 11 of League of Legends just started, and that's been
Don't
a
play.
hot button because of all the item
Don't play League of
changes.
Legends.
Just
Your
don't.
thoughts? These are all, I believe, all of your Platinum Plus, correct?
Yeah.
No.
Stay away.
Gold.
Don't touch it.
Gold to Platinum Plus. So go ahead.
Why? Why, Riot? I
Don't
want to
touch it.
know why. Why you decided to make these items that are super, hyper, mega broken that give champions abilities that they never were intended to have? And why do you think it's balanced? Does anyone here think any of the new items are balanced? Any of the items?
No, and that's why I have stopped playing on Summoner's Rift as of lately, and I just
He only
Play-
does A-ranks.
Yeah, I've
play
actually been
ARAMs.
playing. I've actually been playing a lot of ARAMs as well. I don't feel like League is in a good state right now. I feel like once the
Okay.
items are tuned to their actual levels that they're supposed to be at, is when maybe I'll jump back in. But even now, see, the season started yesterday. I actually do not see myself doing my promotionals or provisionals anytime soon. Until everything levels
Yeah.
out.
At the state leagues in right now, I'm gonna wait until they just they're gonna have like all these big drastic changes for the start of the season, and then it's not gonna matter because they're gonna scrap it all by the time mid-season rolls around, and it's gonna Summoner Rift's gonna look completely different again.
Exactly, it's not going to be the same game
So
again.
I'm not gonna bother with these items.
Funny enough, I've been doing my provisionals like the maniac I am. I'm at 6 games so far deep into the season. 4 losses, 2 wins, having a terrible time. And I'll tell you right now, games are all about the snowball. Whoever gets like the first blood and starts the snowball pretty much wins the game. As long as your opponent is or your opponent's knowledge level isn't to the point where he knows to stop feeding or she knows to stop feeding, you're pretty much just gonna take the game and run with it. There's nothing you can do once somebody gets their mythic and a legendary. For the most part, it's done. Especially with combos like Death Stand, Sterax Gauge, and Gore Drinker. They're just abusive. Like, what are you doing to that, Pengy? What are you doing
No,
to that?
you can't actually do anything because at that point, even if you build any sort of grievous wounds, so grievous wounds cuts the healing by 50%. At that point, they're
40.
healing like
It's 40.
crazy.
40 now.
40?
It's 60% when they're below half. 40%
Oh, okay, there you go.
for that.
40 to 60%. But even at that point, when they have that many healing items, 40 to 60% of 1,000 is still 600 or 400.
They're still healing
Like,
for another.
You're still healing a
600 or
ton.
400. Yeah.
Like the average champion right now has about, let's see, with that build, I would
Like
say 3,500 HP.
Nah, it'd probably be like 2.5k.
Nah, full build, you're like at 3.5.
Oh, at full build, yeah.
No, yeah,
Level
like
18
full
full
build.
build, yeah.
Yeah. So like at that point, you're actually healing more than 400, 600. I've seen Olaf, for example, heal for like 1,000 HP and like just residual healing, just slamming into people. There's not much you can do even with the Grievous. And Grievous Wounds is in such a terrible spot for this type of build to be out right now. It just needs a whole like revamp.
What do you think, Habanero? Like, do you think there's any builds that can kind of compete with that?
Just super sustained builds? I don't know. That just doesn't feel like it's either you delete them before they can press a button and like out sustain you, or that's it. Like once they get going, those type of champs with those items, they just keep going. Like you can't kill them. It's like you play against the Aatrox and it doesn't die, and then you're like, oh man, I'm kind of glad that they removed his ability to just resurrect,
Not actually die.
because then having to fight that twice, it's just why do you have teammates? Like, what do you need teammates for? Like the game's.
Speaking of Aatrox, we actually have some Aatrox changes on PBE right now. So their idea is they're going to move a lot of his healing from his ult. They're going to keep the heal from on his ult, like the spell vamp, but they're going to cut it to 70%. They're actually going to move some of that to his E. So his E already has a healing passive on.
Yeah, it's like 10%, I think, at level 1.
Yeah, but once you hit max E, once you max your E, which is usually the second ability you max, this is how it's going to work. You're going to have your physical vamp already as is, and next to it, you're going to have a separate physical vamp that adds on top of that when you're in the state of world ender.
So double healing.
Yes, so essentially, it's a lot stronger than it was before. It's a nerf early game, but late game, you're going to be healing more than you were before.
Wow, that's actually kind of fucking nutty, and I feel like it actually just adds to to the problem.
It
that
does add to the
league's
problem.
facing right now.
It's a great example of how Riot doesn't know how to fix a champion or fix the game. Like it's disgusting.
Riot's inability to make a balanced game. Well, actually, you know what? Scratch that. I think they don't want to make a balanced game. I think Riot's never
No,
does
of
not
course not.
lead with
Like,
that intention.
of course, look at Viego. Look at Viego, who was just revealed.
What do you guys mean? What do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean by like Riot doesn't want to make a balanced game? Like, I agree they've never done a good job at doing that, but like, why do you feel like they don't want to make a balanced game?
Okay, so in my opinion, I think Riot's philosophy isn't to make a balanced game because at least in their eyes, I think a balanced game kind of gets stale and boring because then people kind of just adapt to it. What they kind of want to do is shake up the game constantly. So it's kind of in this state of like somebody's always broken out the ass, somebody's always dog tier, and somebody's always pretty good or on that bubble of being amazing. And I feel like that's what Riot wants because then you have rotating champions and you don't feel into this paper, scissor, rock mentality. But it's ironic.
You also do make more money that way as well.
Yeah, because new champs run into the spotlight and, given Riot's history of champ releases that have either come out absolutely brain dead broken or normal, like Rel was pretty normal. Rel was a fine release. But then you have champions like Samira who come out on release and receive like 6 nerfs back to back to back to back.
All sorts of shit. But so what you're saying is like, oh, right, it's like, okay, we're gonna just shift the meta in this direction, make this completely broken, so that people who like are used to playing that kind of champion, who maybe have stepped away from the game, like, oh shit, fuck yeah, I love playing like this. I'm gonna play the game a bunch now.
Exactly. That's what I think Riot wants to happen. I
actually do agree with that. I mean, as a business tactic from like my perspective, if I have this group of champions doing well, I can make skins for all these champions, and people do main these champions, so they're gonna start buying all those skins. Which also leads me to this: when was the last time you guys saw a 750 skin?
Oh my god,
they're extinct.
Like 750 skins are like they're out. They're just chromas now, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Pretty much.
I agree with that, but I mean, at the same time, maybe the 750 was a bad example because all 750 skins are chromas. What I meant to say, what I actually mean is the 975 skin. I haven't seen a 975 skin in ages. Everything's been like 1350 or higher.
You're not wrong. It's just increased costs, and like some of these skins like don't feel like 1350. Like this is like take away like a couple particles. This is a 975 skin, which is still cool, but like not 1350.
No, exactly. And then you have these skins that are like 1820 that make the 3150 skins look like actual shit. Example. Recently, through a chest, I actually got the new Katarina skin, the Battle Queen Katarina. That skin is amazing. You can change the color of your sword. She has her own voice dialogue. She has backing animations. She has unique animations for every single sword. So yes, five or six swords. That's 4 abilities per sword.
Look at Pulsefire by comparison. Ass.
Yeah, Pulsefire should actually be a 975, a 1350 skin. I do not understand why Riot hasn't dropped the price on that as of yet.
Because that means RP refunds.
RP refund. Well, actually, that's if they want to.
Design Viking. Were you gonna throw us a new topic?
Yeah. So to finish off this first episode of ours, let's talk about some of the top games of the year. There's been several lists and everything. And actually, number 1 on the list was Hades, a game that you actually reviewed recently, Doggo. It came out in September after an early access, right? And it beat out games like it beat out Last of Us 2, it beat out Assassin's Creed Valhalla, it beat out even surprisingly like Fall Guys, which was big out of nowhere. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I actually haven't played the game. I didn't hear about it at all until it won Game of the Year, and then I kind of heard like everywhere from it. So I don't even know what to expect from it. I'm gonna actually have to sit down and look it up.
Yeah, you haven't seen my review, Habanero? I'm hurt. I'm hurt.
I'm
No.
actually gonna also have to sit down on this one.
That's right.
I don't know
You
too
both
much
didn't
about this
see my
game.
review. I'm so fucking hurt.
That's right. If you two haven't heard anything about Hades, make sure to check out Hidden Dogo's review on the game.
Hades.
Is it
both
over?
of
I
you.
did watch some. I
Is it
actually did watch some
overhyped?
of it. Question mark?
I hate both of you. So, Design Viking, as far as game of the year contender, I feel like game of the year this time around was kind of stifled, mostly due to COVID-19 there. I feel like there weren't an amazing amount of games. I think if Cyberpunk had a better release, it would have done better. I feel if Last of Us Part 2 had less controversy surrounding it, it probably would have done better. I feel like Ghost of Tsushima, if more people had played the game or looked it up, probably would have done better. Hades winning is kind of like the
Would you say the
Hades
slap of a face?
it's not a
Would you say-
slap.
Mhm.
It's kind of like he was the best option out of an okay pool of contestants that could have been great. He was the best option. Hades didn't win because it's like this magnum opus of gaming. It won because everyone around it was either controversy or bugged out the ass
So if,
or
for
unheard of.
example, since you played the game,
Yes.
what aspect of the game did you like the most?
Yeah, like if I've never played it, like what's gameplay like similar to, if anything, or if it's its own thing?
Like it plays like a hack and slash. So if you've ever like imagine a 2D version of God of War. So you're kind of like smashing through things, except I wish there was more interactivity between you and the
Okay.
enemies. Yeah.
To me, it kind of looks Diablo-esque. I mean, from my opinion, it kind of looks like a Diablo-esque game.
You could also compare it to Diablo, but the reason I would compare it more to God of War is because the story and the intrigue are probably my favorite parts about it. Every run, you kind of learn a little bit more about the main character and a little bit more about the plot. And that's kind of the best part about it. And also the dating simulator aspects are kind of funny and interesting.
Okay. If you could change anything about the game, what would you change?
Gameplay loop.
Gameplay
loop every day of the week. Gameplay devolves into smash, light attack over and over again, and dash because there's no stamina. Like I know Habanero, you've played Dark Souls, and I think you have too, Chili. Have you played Dark Souls Design Viking?
I sadly have only ever gotten to the Taurus demon at the beginning.
It's okay. One day we'll play through together.
Final question regarding Hades. So from your dog review, how many dog biscuits out of 5 would you give it?
I'd give it I want to say 4 dog biscuits out of 5.
Okay, that's pretty good.
It's not bad.
I mean, it's not a bad game. Of course, it won Game of the Year, so at some level it has to be good. But I feel like it just had a lot lacking. It's a $20 game, so I can recommend it to anyone. It's worth the money, absolutely. My problem becomes when your gameplay loop is just smash X and smash light attack or smash square and X.
Yeah, because
So
then you get this endless loop of I can feel you.
Because that's what I was saying. I think there should be a stamina system like in Dark Souls where you can kind of like have to make a decision instead of just keep mashing it. There's no.
So what? Just like balancing oversight.
Yeah, balancing oversight and balancing gameplay. But yeah, I think Hades deserves it, but at the same time, I wish everyone around it had kind of been elevated or had not had so many issues. So
now I'm looking forward to watching
the review.
The review, the Hidden Dogo Hades review. Now that I've kind of got like the TLDR from it, I'm gonna actually go and watch it, and I suggest we all do the same.
All
Design
right.
Viking.
Yeah, so that brings us to the end of the first episode of the Sit Down. Hopefully, all you guys enjoy it. Make sure to check it out. Leave comments below on what you want to hear about next. Any topics that you guys want to hear from us. All right. Say goodbye, everyone.
All right, chill it, guys.
Pepper noises.
Woof woof, mother.